the second part of our second episode of Star Trek The Bluejay Generation. I just like saying that because it's great. There are so many cats in this cast. We have so many cats. We've seen 2 cats already today. And there you go. You fit right
Another
in.
cat.
But you were just in conversation with some of the colonists on Volon 3. There were a couple of different leads you could follow if you wanted to do anything more while you're here. You've got some momentum. Otherwise, we can pursue any one of the leads that you would like. So anyone have anything they would like to do while we're still, I think that the colonists are like, they did their venting. They're pretty much ready to like get up and go back to their families and their lives, unless you want to speak to anyone specifically or speak to Lieutenant Commander Hudson.
I'm just kind of, I just want to like be perceptive, constantly vigilant.
Constant vigilance.
About who might be possibly a like sleeper agent for the Maquis.
Okay.
In this colony.
So do you want to have been like looking around and trying to get like a, okay, I would say insight and security.
Yeah. Just like, you know, just giving them the look.
And this is something that like people don't just wear this on their sleeve, that they're a Maquis. Like,
I don't know.
But like you can do the role. I'm willing to let you do this. This is a situation where like definitely you could be on the lookout for people looking weird or whatever. I don't think, hey, you can't roll until I tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, but you can still add things after. But I was gonna say that like it's a difficulty 3. You have 2 successes right now. A momentum would buy you another die. 3 momentum would buy you 2 more die.
I don't know if I necessarily want to spend our momentum. I just want to just.
It's gone after the scene.
Oh, okay. Okay, then
go for it.
Sure. Then I'll use it. I'll use it then.
Okay, how many die would you? You could do 1 and then see if you want to buy another one.
Okay, I'll just do 1 and then I'll see.
Okay, so you have to get 13 or lower.
So that's 2. So I put it on 2.
I would say because you're just rolling 1, you put it on 1 right now.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Because you're rolling 1 other die. So that wasn't a success. It would take 2 more momentum to buy another one if you wanted to.
If anyone else wants to use it, they can. But
I'd be willing to let you do that.
Okay. Yeah. All right, then I'll go ahead and do it. Yeah. All of our momentum is on me looking for shifty eyes.
Okay, well, sounds good.
I think it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So you can roll another one
with the same.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
it's just the one other die.
Okay.
You guys have so much momentum.
So do I put my little thingy on a 1? Do I click the 1?
Yes,
or do I just...
you click the 1.
All right. Whoop.
Okay, so you got your 3 successes. So,
Yay.
And you only spent half your momentum because you guys just were rolling really well, and I guess I need to set the like difficulty higher for everything. I don't know.
No, it's nice to succeed. I don't know what that usually feels like. So
it's super interesting to see how like the threshold for success and not like differs in this game for other games I've played where it's just like you fail everything.
Right.
I feel like Star Trek Adventures is very much about like, given the right circumstances, you can do absolutely anything because it's Star Trek.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think what you see is that everyone's given their like grievances to the captain, and like everyone's pretty much just like saying Cardassians are jerks, and there are 2 people who, when things start like winding down a little bit, you see them and Lieutenant Commander Hudson. Is it Hudson? I just keep forgetting his name. Yes, Lieutenant Commander Hudson. They are off to the side and like talking under their breath a little bit. And because you got a success on that, I'm gonna say that you overhear Hudson say, "Not here. We'll talk later." And
Ooh.
then these two gentlemen nod at him, and then they leave.
Is she the only one who sees that?
Sorry, what was that?
Is she the only one that sees that?
She can like tell any of you that she like saw this, but she's
Right.
very much like, this is her position. She's the security officer, like looking for so I would say that, like, because of the difficulty was rather high, without a roll, no one else will have noticed that unless she like tells you.
Probably when I notice it, I'll walk up to my superior officer, Commander Sar, and tell him what's happened. But under shushed breaths.
Mm-hmm.
Shushed. Very shushed. Away from everyone else.
The shyest of the shush breaths.
Yeah, so shushed. Almost like inaudible, so where you have to go like a little louder.
So there's this what is it, like, there's this very serious discussion happening, and then the comedic break is like Lieutenant Archer is like, and Sarah's like, no, you have to, like, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So she, like, do you just tell him what it is that you saw?
Yeah, well, I say that there's, you know, some shifty shit going on with the commander. Is he commander? Lieutenant commander. And two of those people, and it didn't seem protocol. So I think we should tell the captain that there might be more to that, because I don't think we should confront them now, but definitely the captain should.
Thank you for your candor.
And I like
Go ahead.
go back to being vigilant.
Always vigilant.
said those two
Always
guys-
watching. Sorry, like
You said that
Roz
those two
from that
left after
movie.
that?
They
did leave.
They did leave, yeah.
Perfect. You know,
I could probably recognize them again in a crowd, I'm sure.
sweet. I kind of lean in to the captain. And, Captain, it seems that the two gentlemen that have departed may have something more than we've recognized. Lieutenant Commander has noticed, Lieutenant Archer, should I say, has noticed some peculiar behaviors on their part, so we may want to keep them in mind moving forward.
Very well. Can you suggest a course of action? Do you think we should have them followed, or should we just wait and observe them for now?
For now, sir, I believe we've at least received information that they seem a bit more shifty than one would originally guess. Beyond that, though, I feel following them at this point would be a little too obvious, for only five or six of them have come to this area. But one thing that Lieutenant Archer did point out is that they spoke to Lieutenant Commander Hudson in whispers. So this may be something that we need to keep in mind, that
I mean,
those
it's not
gentlemen
just
could be
that they
a part
were
of-
talking to the guy. Like, I definitely think that there's probably, like, he was like, shh, 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 like, don't say this in front of, like, these people. So it wasn't that they were just, like, talking to Lieutenant Commander Hudson.
that's kind of what I was
Yeah,
trying to-
I just want to make the point that we're not like, they were talking to this guy and now we have to follow them. It was obviously like
Something's going down.
something. Yeah,
It's
because
like,
I
look,
just
there's-
I felt really bad. I was like, they talked to someone and now we have to murder them.
No. It was more that from what I felt of your description, it was people. Calm down, man. Don't give all the information. There's company here. They don't know about our situation. I felt like that was more of what was going on, and I was trying to inform.
Oh yeah, no, I just like for the audience and for my like feeling like a jerk face, like personally, I just wanted to make it clear, like, we're not just like everyone is bad, but also
But everyone is bad.
Everyone
Also,
is bad.
Everyone is bad.
Everyone's not bad, but they might just be bad though.
Yeah. We don't trust them. They're willing to sacrifice peace so they can stay on a rock.
okay.
I mean, kidding. That's not how I feel at all in character.
Okay.
Number one, I have a question to ask you. I
Ask
want your
away.
opinion on it. The reason why I brought Lieutenant Archer on this mission, well, two reasons. One, she can hold herself in a fight. But two, she's new to Starfleet. Probably looking to impress her commanding officers and the like. However, she could also be seen as more easy to manipulate. Do you think, in your opinion, if we sent her on a clandestine mission to feel out the Maquis, if she were to pose as a sympathizer, do you think that she would be able to be trusted to do this and keep her Starfleet loyalties in line?
I feel that her loyalties lie with the Federation, Captain. Having said that, I do want to point out she did notice the hushed conversation that, as far as I can tell, no one else did. So she's definitely someone you want to keep in mind for such clandestine operations. Having said that, though, she does seem very odd in situations that involve authority. So you may give her someone that is working with her to ensure that she remembers.
Oh.
What would you suggest, number one?
That, sir, is a decision for you.
I think this is a me. Send me.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm hearing. I'm like my little fanfic heart is like.
Yeah.
This is the moment where you send these two on a mission together, and then they get like trapped in a cave. And
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I'm just,
I'm on the same ship.
thank you. Thank
Let's
you,
go.
Pumpkinberry.
I'm also sure half of everybody watching is also on the same.
I'm glad that we see the same
Yeah.
things happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for your advice.
That is what I'm here for, Captain.
I think what I want you particularly to do, the riots that were mentioned before, I'd like you to go to that settlement to speak with the Cardassians. They have we would have a harder time pulling the wool over the eyes of a Vulcan, I would think, or a half Vulcan. With your logic and with your ability to suss out the truth, I think that you would be best suited for that kind of a arrangement. So if you can make your way to the Cardassian security force and see what happened during the riots and who committed what crimes, and if they hurt people, I'd like you to see if you can get any sort of evidence or proof against that. And think I might go talk to the other side, to the wounded and the families of the wounded during those riots.
I will do what I can, Captain.
All right. Be careful. Cardassians are not to be trusted.
I have read many volumes, and giving detail is to not only the linguistic backgrounds of the Cardassians, but also a little bit of information about their culture. They are very predatorial. I will keep this in mind during the mission.
Excellent. You have your orders.
Thank you, Captain. Who would you like me to take along on this mission?
Don't go anywhere alone. I mean, remember that we're already sending Pumpkinberry and Lieutenant Commander Roxy Kepler and Lieutenant Archer to check out the sabotaged farming equipment.
Right. I might belay those orders though with the new information that has been brought to light.
Okay.
Yep.
And before you go, number one, I think if I were to ask Lieutenant Archer to infiltrate or attempt to infiltrate the Maquis, I don't know if it would be a mission that someone would be able to complete better in a group. It might be a solo mission. And that's the reason why I'm apprehensive about doing it, but it seems like she's the perfect candidate for it. What are your thoughts?
With that in mind, then, Captain, she has proven herself very perceptive, and she can hold her own in a battle. So I feel if this is what you must do, she is a great candidate for having done so.
Is there a way that we could fashion an emergency transporter signal on her in case she needs a quick exit?
I do not have a background in transponders or transporters, Captain, but I will do what I must and get in contact with fellow officers aboard our crew to see what need to be done about creating such a thing.
Mm. And then I do that little thing, Dren to main engineering.
Engineering here.
Need to talk to who's the? I'm sorry, this is out of character. Who's the main engineer?
The main engineer
Was that no, never mind.
is her name is Leah. I know what her name is. One sec. I'm gonna pull an NPC out of my hat from previous episodes. Leah
Engineerman.
No, there was the okay.
Are you talking about
Leah
the one
Brahms.
that
Her name is Leah Brahms.
Really? We got Brahms? Dude.
It's a prototype ship.
Hold on. I can't hear you. I unplugged my headphones. Hold on. Damn it. Okay, sorry about that. I stepped on my cord.
It's a prototype ship. It's brand spanking new. Of course she'd be here.
All right. Cool. And I'm sure she'd be like Commander Brahm.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
she's like, you could refer to her as commander or doctor.
I could probably refer to her as Leah too, because Captain, like, he referred to like Jordy and.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Yeah. If it's, I mean, I would say like it depends on how close you are with different members of your senior staff, right?
Okay. And I'm sorry, is it Brahm or Brahms? I can't remember.
It's Brahms.
Okay, Brahms. Okay. Commander Brahms, I have a little experiment for you.
Yes, sir.
Yep. She is now a Starfleet officer, so go suck it.
She was one of those people that was so like special and important that she got like a commission. Right?
It is now canon.
Because I decided.
That's right. A little experiment for you. Can you make a transporter emergency transporter lock on one of our away team here in case they get into a situation they need to quickly leave?
Of course. I don't think that the what's the word? The atmosphere of the planet is fairly clear. Shouldn't be a problem unless you're going underground or somewhere else.
All right. Don't do anything yet. Stand by. I still need to confirm that this mission is a go, so.
Of course, sir.
All right. Dren out. Then I walk over to Lieutenant Archer and Lieutenant Kepler. Lieutenant Commander Kepler. Sorry.
It's okay.
So, do you find anything? And I saw you guys talking. Anything interesting, mission worthy to tell your captain?
I do, sir. I spoke with the wife of the missing individual that was brought up during the meeting, and it turns out he's not actually missing, but he did join the resistance. I tried to get more information, like names or even a location of where we could go or look, but I was unfortunately unable to convince her to give me that information. However, I was able to get a list of names of people who have actually gone missing and not just joined the resistance, if we want to start there.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that the lady whose husband has gone missing is not missing.
Oh, hi, Ezu. That's her name.
Yeah. That's
And
correct,
he
sir.
joined the Maquis or the resistance. But there are people who have actually gone missing.
That is correct.
Well, I think we've got more than enough on our plate to explore the wrongdoings of the Cardassians. But that's only half of our mission. The other half is to discover Maquis bases.
Sorry, sir, I tried.
No, it's not a failing. It's a statement of fact.
How would you like us to proceed, sir?
I'd like to speak to Lieutenant Archer alone for a moment, if you don't mind.
Just like, I'm in trouble again.
Lieutenant
I
Archer,
leave.
you seem to be in a position, a very unique position of being green enough to the Academy and to the Federation, not the Academy, to the to Starfleet, that someone might have cause to question your loyalty.
And she's like gets defensive. So she was like, "Sir, I would never." I would. And she like starts like rambling off like protocol.
Calm down, Lieutenant. No one is questioning your loyalty.
Oh, yes, sir.
But if someone wanted to question your loyalty, and we actually wanted that to happen, do you think you could pull it off?
Yes, sir, I could. I would do anything to help the mission.
There's a plan in motion. Hasn't started yet. I haven't given the order yet. But I took counsel with my first officer. He has seen you in action personally, and I trust him implicitly. So here's the idea. Now, this is not an order. You can decline. I don't want your reverence towards Starfleet or towards the chain of command or me to influence your decision. This has to be your choice, and it cannot be an order. My idea was to have you explore these people who have turned over to the resistance, like this woman's husband, and try to infiltrate the resistance, the Maquis, and have them possibly bring you to their location, a location of a meeting place or a headquarters or whatever they call it. I need you to pose as someone who is a sympathizer, who understands what these people are going through and might be willing to fight for them if given enough cause. What say you, Lieutenant?
And she's kind of biting her nails. She's like, and then when he says, "What say you?" She looks back up, and she just says, "I've seen enough hurt growing up on a starship, especially hurt from colonists and from people that the Federation might not have been necessarily fair to them too, of course, but fair on paper to where I could facsimilate that sort of behavior by the book, so to speak. I would be honored to do a covert mission for you, sir, and I will do my best.
Now, there are going to be people out there, if they find out about this, find out what went on here. There are going to be people who might have a problem with my methods or my ways of getting things done. Do you see where my logic lies in this?
She thinks for a second. She says, I do see, sir. I believe that the Maquis are dangerous, and that we should see where they're coming from, and maybe even their motivations as to why they feel Starfleet isn't doing a good enough job.
I couldn't have said it better, Lieutenant. All right. Well,
I will not take any lives, sir. And she just like stands up straight.
We're going to be fashioning you with a new device, or not, maybe not a new device, but it's going to be kind of an emergency teleport signal. We're going to hopefully attach it to your comm badge or something else on you, so you can have an escape if you find yourself getting into a situation that is dangerous or you can't find your way out of. Okay, so we're not sending you in there with no hope of return, but you will have to do this mission alone for it to be believable.
I understand, sir.
I'm going to ask you one more time. You understand the implications of this mission that I'm asking you to do, and you fully agree to the consequences.
Yes, sir, I agree. And I understand that my crew will have my back, since I'll have the device for an escape.
Absolutely. All right.
And anything that can help the crew and that can help the mission, then that's good enough for me. And whatever you tell me, sir. Yes, sir. Blink.
All right. Blink.
Blink.
Blink, blink, blinkety, blink, blink.
Yeah.
All right. Don't do anything until I give the word.
Yes, sir. Well, will you be able to, how will you tell me? What is the signal? Like, caw, or like, and cuckoo-doo-roo, cuckoo.
No, I really don't think that we'll have to be that secretive about it. I think we might have to just pose it as your mission, and then you will have to convince them that they have convinced you. Do you understand?
I understand. Yes, sir. No caw. Back on the caw.
So your mission is I have sent you there to get them to negotiate that kind of thing, and that that they have turned your heart, or so to speak.
Okay, absolutely.
All right.
I understand, sir.
Dismissed. Dren to engineering.
Thank you, sir. Caw.
Yes, Captain.
Go ahead with that little device, that little thing we talked about.
If you don't mind, Captain, I'm not as familiar with transporter technology as I am with the prototype warp core. I know that Lieutenant Commander Kepler has studied transporters perhaps more than me. If she could assist.
Really?
He doesn't want to tell me.
Well, let me see. Oh, yes, I did read that on her file that she was into transporters and replicators. Well, actually, the funny thing is, like,
I assumed you wanted to leave me out of the loop. Yeah.
I have a similar background with transporters and stuff, so I can probably assist with that. Yeah.
You definitely can.
Okay.
I'm going to Yeah, if you really want to go behind and make sure that you're not telling Commander Kepler about this, I don't really think that you have a value that's in direct opposition to this. But I wish you did, because I would totally challenge you about it. Maybe like the chain of command keeps us afloat. Or no, there's not really anything in your values that says like this isn't something you would do, or that it's okay. I just like, I want to be like,
I'm going with my gut, man.
yeah, no, that totally works. So, she suggests the chief operations officer, because she knows that she might be a little bit better at this. And do you say what do you say to like be like, nah?
What? I'm sorry. What do I say? What
What
now?
do you say to Commander Brahms or Dr. Brahms?
Mhm.
How do you delicately say I want to leave Kepler out of the loop? Please
Yes.
tell us. I'm curious.
Yeah, that's
It's easy. Like Lieutenant Commander Kepler is going on a different mission that requires her full attention at the moment. Actually,
Fire pants on fire.
no, I assigned you a mission. That's not a lie. I assigned you a mission to the farming equipment.
Kepler doesn't know.
Requires your full attention.
Ready me to go look at the. Oh no!
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
oh.
You're
So
best suited. You even said you're best suited for that. You spoke up and said like I could probably be best suited for that.
okay, so you say that Commander Kepler is doing something else that's very important, and all right then, I'll handle it.
Well, if I have a passing knowledge of transporters and their workings and stuff, so I probably could give you a hand with that.
And I think that it's probably like, it's not like you don't need to get your hands dirty, but
Yeah.
I think it's very much that won't be necessary, Captain. I'm sure we have some fresh young engineers who would love to be helpful in this instance.
All right.
Is
How
this the
long-
chief engineer?
Yes.
And we're close, right?
I mean, yeah, you're obsessed with warp cores, so
Yeah, okay.
yes, you probably talk to her all the time. You like have girls' nights where you just talk about warp core theory. It's ridiculous.
That brings me joy. Okay.
So yeah, she's basically just like, oh, you're the captain. Like, you don't need to help me with a transporter thing. I can get the transporter chief, not Miles O'Brien, to do it.
All right. How long do you think it'll take?
How we can modify a armband and a pattern stabilizer relatively quickly within the hour, sir. If you were wanting something a little more discreet, it might take more time.
This requires some haste, so give me what you got.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then I go to Lieutenant Commander Kepler and I say, Lieutenant Archer is going to be following some different orders. So I will be accompanying you to the, or excuse me, you will be examining the farming equipment on your own. I don't envision too much danger to be had there. I'm actually sending Commander Sar to the Cardassian police force or whatever you call it, and I'm going to head with him. Do you envision any problems doing this scan on your own?
Oh no, I just wanted to be able to tell Starfleet we did our due diligence. I'll scan and see what kind of sabotage it is, and maybe we'll get lucky and find out that the damage was done by weapons they don't have access to. You know, maybe we'll get lucky. I doubt it, but just routine. Shouldn't be a problem, sir.
All right, you have your orders. All right.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, so let's just declare this scene over. We've done a bunch in this tiny little building.
God damn you, Captain!
I would say
Hey, I saw an opportunity. I'm taking it.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's very good.
Yeah, I mean,
And just
we'll
like
agree to anything
Also-
you say. So
greasily got you out of the way.
so let's first handle the getting out of the way part, because I have some the basic ideas of like it shouldn't take too long to handle the farming equipment, and then that'll give us enough time fictionally to have the transporter pattern enhancer done up. So first things first is you probably Kepler go out of the main building and get in touch with the farmer who had his equipment, what he says, sabotaged. And he takes you, it's probably like a little bit charming because they still have like ground vehicles here, which if you've spent most of your time on the Mars colony, it would be like some kind of like hovercraft. Here you mostly do shuttlecraft and transporters. There's not
So
really...
I'm like fascinated by this.
Yeah, it's like a
the
truck.
engineering that goes into a. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, look at this incredible antique engineering.
Right. Well, this isn't what you're here to see. This is just the farm's a little ways this way. If you just get in, and he like opens the door for you.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry, my apologies.
And then you guys drive up, and it's super picturesque. Like, it's just getting to be sunset. This is a single sun system, so it's probably very familiar to you, aside from the greenery, which wouldn't really be on Mars. But there's a lot of like rolling hills and greenery, and then you see along the landscape these just very drastic, bare, like red dirt. It looks like a wound, and you can tell that like he's also gazing out the window. He's probably not talking to you too much, but you can tell that like every time you like go over a little crest and you see like another one of these barren fields, like it's upsetting to him having to like talk about this again, and like just seeing these lands not farmed and not growing. And you get to it's a little like another one of the stucco buildings, but it's not as clean and white as the ones that were closer, where you transported in. It's got a little bit of the red dust from the soil has accumulated along the bottom parts of the house. There are a few people like gathering their things, like tapping the dirt off their boots, and it's around the end of the day. His like family or just general like group of people that he lives with have gathered toward this set of like two smaller houses, and to the west, I would say, of them are they look like hover tractors, but underneath them is it's not on right now, but you can see it looks like it would be the same kind of like beam as a tractor beam, but it's made to like almost like a replicator of some sort, like put things into the soil. So you would like push it along. You could see how it would work.
Yeah.
And it would, like tilling a field, put nutrients into the soil. And there's like 3 of them, I think, and they're just sitting there, not turned on or anything. One of them is like over on
they
its
broken?
side, and you can tell that someone had been fiddling with it, trying to get it to work. And he stops the truck and gets out and leads you directly to them. And he's like, these are them. We have always kept them outside. We don't really have a shed or a lock on them, so, but that's how we've always done it, and no one's messed with them before. There's a few shared amongst the farmers around here. These are just some of them. They were most of them, all of them, sabotaged. You can, and he like kneels down next to the thing, and he's like, you can see right here, they wrenched the, and he like, I'm just gonna like, there's some kind of mumbo jumbo science word for
the ambient
like
pulse controller.
yeah,
Sure.
straight out of there. Just, they knew what to look for, and we don't really have the technology to, we don't have replicators down here. We can't make another one, and we've asked Starfleet Command, well, it wouldn't be Starfleet Command, it would be like, they've sent back to ask for replacement parts to be sent to them, and haven't gotten any kind of response from anybody. And I think like as he's like, as you're kneeling down and as you're as he's pointing this out to you, there's a tall older man, human, graying hair, that steps out of the one of the 2 buildings. He's wiping his hands with some kind of towel, and you know him. He used to teach at the school on Mars Colony. He was an engineering teacher of yours, and you know that he like retired and went to like go live somewhere that wasn't Mars, you know, and you didn't know where. And yeah, he comes out of the building and is like wiping his hands, and he's like, Roxy?
What's his name?
Oh, right. A name. I need to make that up right now.
I can also make that up.
You make it
Curtis.
up. What's
Can I-
his name?
Cool. Professor Curtis?
Yeah. Well, look at you. I didn't think that I'd see you all the way out here.
What is this where you went after you retired? You're a
Yeah.
farmer now?
I mean, it was a hobby. I guess we always talked more about engineering, but yeah. I always wanted to tame the frontier, as it were. I just didn't really expect that, well, we weren't as close to the Cardassians when I moved here.
I'm really sorry.
Anyway,
I'm here to help.
I've looked at these things, and I'm going to tell you straight up that you can't fix them with what we've got here.
And were they sabotaged?
They didn't just break. You can
Okay.
you can see, and like you can probably, like, if you want to take your tricorder out and scan.
Yeah, I
and,
would
like,
love to do that. Yeah, I would love to do that. So particularly, I'd like to look for any hint that maybe they were sabotaged with equipment they don't have access to. Anything that I could use for evidence as to, you know, kind of just say, hey, this was definitely sabotaged by somebody or with a you know, with something that they don't have
Okay.
to prove that it was the Cardassians.
All right. So I'm just gonna see if the tricorder gives you any kind of bonus to scanning, or just like enables the scanning. Let me real quick.
No worries.
Tricorder 189. There's so many things that you can have in this game. Okay. So, okay. 189 is not a tricorder. So, thank you for that.
It does this weird
References.
thing where it does pages, but then it also does like section number.
Uh-huh.
I noticed that when
Let's see. I would say that this just allows you to attempt a task. So it enables you to do the thing and it doesn't give you any bonuses to it.
okay.
So
Whatever you want to do for, role playing purposes is fine. It doesn't necessarily need to be.
yeah. This is definitely like reason, I think, using your tricorder
Okay.
and science. And it's I would say difficulty. I mean, you're not just trying to see what it is that this thing is. You're looking for, I would say, difficulty 2.
Okay.
And you don't really have anything. I mean, I did say that the like the way that this thing worked was like a replicator.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can
noticed
use that. You can use that.
I can use that. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
So yes on focus used. Why did it only roll 1? Did you click? I think you clicked 2 for complication, not for task roll.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Complication was
1.
2 though. Oh, 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's not more difficult.
Okay.
Okay. So you got 2 successes, which matches the difficulty. So you scan the tool, and I think it's fairly obvious that whatever was done to this, it didn't require like a phaser or a weapon to do. Someone just knew enough about these things and about what the colony had access to just take the one thing that would make it not work, just like tear it out.
Yeah.
So it was like they just reached their hands in there. It wasn't like a weapon. But they knew enough about the colony's resources because it's obvious that there are it's a finicky tool. Like it's not easy to replace, and there were parts that like could be replaced with things that a farmer might have on hand. And this was obviously the thing that they wouldn't have on hand.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, it does appear that it's definitely been sabotaged, but there's no phase spatial pattern here. So unfortunately, I can't link this back to the Cardassians in particular.
Yeah, they're real good about that. And like he kind of like Curtis, Professor Curtis. I guess he's just Curtis now and not a professor. He like shoos the other gentleman away to like get food or whatever, and comes up to you, and he's like, I don't think any of us knew what we were getting into when we moved here. Some of these people have been here for years longer than I have, but no one expected that they were getting into the middle of a war, or that their land would be given as part of a peace treaty. So none of us were really prepared for this kind of complication.
If you don't mind me asking, why don't you leave?
Would you? Someone tries to make you do something. I mean, you know me. Stubborn. The more they push, the more I push back. We can't just leave this place. It's our home. I mean, maybe you don't understand living on a starship like you do for as long as you have. We've sunk down roots here. This place it's everything. I wanted to
I think
spend the
I-
rest of my days here, not be pushed out by some underhanded. And he like spits out like a word that is very derogatory for Cardassian, like something snake, something.
I don't think it's fair that they can push you out so underhandedly. I don't agree with that. They're supposed to have peace. They've signed a treaty, and I think it's horrible of them to do this to you. And I'll help in any way that I can, Professor.
And he like looks up at you and you say that. Spoonhead, yeah, that's a great Cardassian like shitty name. He looks up at you when you say I'll do anything. He's like, anything, huh?
Oh, God damn it.
We've sent to we've sent for replacements several times. No one's coming. And even if they were, chances are they'd be stopped on the way here. If you can get us the parts we need to fix these things, I'd consider it a kindness. And you would know from like looking at these
Diplomacy and stuff.
like no more your engineering and like tools. Like you could get him the things like the parts that he needs to fix these, but you'd have to take it from something that's in use on the ship. It's not just a spare part that's lying around.
Jesus. Okay.
So you would have to like take it from some like I don't think it would be from a replicator that's in somebody's like quarters. I think it would be more like one of the replicators in 10 forward, or maybe like the replicators in 10 forward probably have several of these parts so that they can do the amount of replicating that they need to do. So like you could make them maybe half as effective and hopefully they won't break, but you'd have to take stuff from your own ship to be able to like fix these things.
Since I was going to ask, actually, since the captain shuffled me off over here and I have some spare time, would I be able to, since I do have a focus in replicators, would I be able to help them? I know I can't get anything running, but can I help get the equipment like in better shape than just
you could try and help them like fix
I
it
brought
up
my
so
tools
that
and stuff.
but like they need the specific part, right?
Okay.
So that's me pulling at your like
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do, Professor.
All right. Well, you're welcome to stay for dinner if you don't have something better to do.
How about this? How about I go back and I try to get you the parts that you need, and then we can have dinner.
All right. And I think that's where we'll end it for the day. Roxy has a decision to make about exactly how much she's willing to do. And like there's secrets everywhere. Hidden secrets. So I actually like really wasn't expecting you to go the Ro Lauren route, Zeke. I'm excited for that, to see how that goes.
Well, hey man, I like that was
wonderful.
I'm not like I understand how people might have a problem with that. I'm not completely cruel. Like I'm trying to work out a way. There's an emergency exit and all this kind of stuff, but it
makes sense for your character. Like it makes sense. You got to do what you got to do to get. And they gave you they gave us an impossible mission. Let's be real. So it makes sense. But at the same time,
whatever. My character will agree to anything she's told. So
that's why Kepler would be so upset. She would be like, he knows that you'll do anything and that you'll say yes. And oh man, if she knew. He's right to not tell her, because if she knew that, she'd rip him a new asshole. She would be like, "What do you think you're doing, Captain?"
But that's another part of the strategy was not telling you and asking her, and making it have to be her choice, even knowing, because I can't risk asking someone to do that and then them saying no and then them telling people about it.
Right? Yeah. And she wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do our end of session call outs. Tell me where people can find you and what you're looking forward to in the next week in between now and the next show. Let's start with our can't say no to anything, Commander Holly.
Oh, yay. Yes, hello everyone. I'm Commander Holly. You can find me on the internet as Commander Holly. I have been streaming a lot, so I'll be streaming tomorrow for Dice Camera Action on the D&D channel, and then I'll be streaming Wednesday, possibly. I don't know. Wednesday's 4th of July, so I don't know if we're doing Stardew on Wednesday.
I mean, I don't celebrate things, so it just depends on what you're doing.
Okay. All right. We will reconvene. Possibly.
We'll consult each other in the interim.
We'll consult.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, my game Trapped in the Birdcage, where I DM, is back, and I think that's it. But yeah, lots of fun things. So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
And I love my character. She's so dumb. It's great.
All right, and
I
then
wouldn't say dumb.
No, she's
I
not
would
dumb.
dumb.
She's just
Dumb.
Earnest.
Inexperienced
New.
and enthusiastic.
yeah, she's
Mhm.
new.
She's eager to please her superior officer.
Exactly.
Speaking
To her
of-
own detriment.
Speaking of superior officers, we'd like her to please DJ. Hey! I'm so sorry.
Hey, okay.
My poor character.
that was a little more lewd than I expected. Unlike Commander Holly, who's doing a lot of streaming, I am not doing a lot of streaming, which is very awkward for me, considering my previous time on Twitch.
He streamed for 1,000 days straight, guys.
I did.
1,000 days straight.
And then I immediately took a day off, and I streamed.
And you were like, this feels nice.
No, I streamed one day since Thursday, but again, we are literally in another state trying to find a home, so I think that's a little bit more important, so that we can find the right place so that we can continue streaming.
Oh, that's definitely very important.
But yeah, I will be streaming. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tonight, but tomorrow, definitely. Wednesday, probably. But I will be getting back home and getting back to my normal schedule, which is going to change anyways because it's the summer. Thursday. So Thursday.
All
Find me
right.
at twitch.tv/DeejayKnight. Thank you for watching. And for those of you who have seen it in the chat, the voice will be back next week.
We
Not
just
being
love
at
it
home.
so much.
Right. Like not being at home makes that a little impossible to pull off. But you'll hear it soon. And I appreciate that you guys like it so much.
Yeah. PB, where can people find you? What are you up to this week?
I'm going to be thinking about this game. I'm honest. I'm just going to be waiting for Monday. I don't know about you guys, but okay. Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Pumpkinberry. I'm going to be streaming all this week, games, also maybe some tabletops. So I'd love for you to come by. Let me know if you came from here so that we can geek out about the show together. Otherwise, yeah, thanks guys again for such an amazing episode. That was incredible. Bluejay, thank you so much for facilitating and creating this space and this world for us, and thank you guys for watching. Oh my god, I love this show.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, our intrepid captain Hulk Hogan. Where can people find you?
All right, brother, where you can find me? You can find me in America because USA.
Oh man, are you gonna be like this next week too? Or?
No. It's I'm gonna have this mustache and hair until the end of the 4th of July. I'm gonna go out 4th of July.
Right. That
Have
makes
some
sense.
fun.
Oh, you aren't really?
Yeah.
Wait, are you doing an IRL stream or anything?
No.
But lots of selfies.
Oh sure. Oh, of course.
With
I just-
everyone.
Not to
Funny
be a
thing is-
turd, but I want to see proof that you went out on 4th of July like that.
Absolutely.
I want it.
No, there will be pictures for sure. I actually I took my Danielle, the hairdresser, and her husband out for dinner last night, and someone came up to me and was like, dude, I know who you are, but holy shit, can I get a picture with you and sign Hulk Hogan's name on my arm? I was like, all right, whatever. So I did that, and she took a picture with me and a picture of the autograph and sent it to her dad, and her dad was like, oh my god. It was great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But yeah, after the 4th of July, I'm shaving the mustache and the hair and regrowing everything and dyeing my eyebrows back to the regular color. Anyways, my name is Ezekiel the third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III. Variety broadcaster. I'm in the middle of doing Grim Fandango right now.
Woohoo.
I'm loving it. I'm having a blast. I love point and click adventure games, and I'm cleaning up all the ones that I missed in my youth. And this has been on the list for a long time, so I'm really happy to be playing it. It's a great game. But broadcast usually at noon Pacific every day except Tuesday and Wednesday and Monday, I guess now. But I'll be on tomorrow, Court of Swords, for if you want some more role-playing action, Dungeons and Dragons style.
You play a very different character on Court of Swords.
I absolutely do. I love it. I love being like having these different characters that I can sink my teeth into and how different they are. It's so much fun.
So when Zeke GM?
When do I GM a game?
Yeah.
I don't got the balls, man.
Oh.
What? You're so good.
Or the uterus or whatever girls use for balls.
Also balls. I don't know. They're inside,
balls.
but they're the same.
Ovaries. I don't have the ovaries for it.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyways, yeah, maybe I've talked about doing a one shot before, and maybe someday I'll do it. Maybe I'll get the courage to do it, but
It's
not
only
now.
mildly nerve-wracking.
No, dude, I do not envy DMs, GMs. They get all of my respect. We just sit here and play in the world that you have to create. So
You just learned to bullshit real well.
Thankfully,
Kinda,
someone
yeah.
else did the world creating for me. I'm just referencing everything they've ever done, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's not hard.
Not, it's fine. It's fine. But you can find me most of the time not having a nervous breakdown right here on twitch.tv/Bluejay. All of my misadventures are on the Twitter. There's links in the chat. There have been. Thank you so much to this wonderful group of folk for joining me, for taking the time out of your weeks to do this mini series. I know that it was very difficult for us to find times that worked for everybody, but I super duper appreciate it. And thank you also to Modifius for the text, Roll20
Yes.
for the very cool mats that we get to play with, and we will see you guys very very soon next week on Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Have a good
no,
week.
it's not going to be the last one, is it?
No, we've got 2 more. It's a 4th.
Okay, good.
4.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Have a good one, everybody.
live long and prosper.
See you soon.